Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vinson Voice, a weekly program where we tell you what's happening in VA and at the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center here in beautiful Dublin, Georgia. We serve America's heroes here, and we're always grateful to TV35 for giving us this half hour every week to talk about what we do and what we try to do for veterans. And so nursing is a big thing for us. Nursing, we have 500, what did Dr. Hampton say before, Paula? 500 nurses?
About 700.
700, wow. And again, when I started in 2003, it was 741 people total. So see how we're growing and getting bigger and bigger. So that means we have to recruit nurses constantly.
That's right.
Our nurses love to work here, but that many people, they're going to rotate out fairly regularly.
That is true.
Going to new jobs, try new things. So we got a nurse recruiter, Miss Paula Bennett, right?
That's right.
Paula, welcome to the show. Now,
Thank you.
Now I want to know a little bit about Paula before we get into the nursing.
Well, I have been a nurse for almost 12 years. My background has primarily been in the emergency department, but I also have experience doing home health. I was a sexual assault nurse examiner for a number of years, doing both adult and pediatric sexual assault physical exams. And then I also worked as the public health TB case manager for about 18 months prior to coming here. So I've been here, this week actually marks 1 year of my first 1 year anniversary. So, but anyway, that's pretty much the background that I have in nursing, and that's how I got here.
All right, so I'm going to tell you, I've always had a soft spot for nurses. I'll tell you why. I was a police officer for 21 years.
Yeah.
And I used to draw a lot of parallels between what I did and what healthcare folks generally did and what nurses did in particular.
Right.
Because you deal with things that the average person, maybe they don't want to meet that challenge. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you do it. And so I've always had a soft spot for my nurses, and it's a hard job. Any way you look at it, we're not going to candy coat it. Nursing is a hard job, but that's why we're looking for the best of the best. But so what you try to do with nursing is make a good environment, make them feel, and I see that here. I see, Dr. Hampton right on down the line insists we all get along, we all enjoy our job, support each other. There's nursing or education opportunities, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, there are several opportunities here at the Carl Vinson VA as far as nursing goes. We have a variety of settings for nurses to work in: outpatient settings, inpatient settings, mental health. And one of the great things about coming to work here at the VA is, just like you said, if you want to advance yourself career-wise, the VA is very supportive and an advocate for advancing your career opportunities through advanced education. So that's one of our driving forces in recruiting people, is to let them know that, hey, if we have our associate nurses come in and they have been wanting to get their bachelor's or higher level of education, that's one incentive that we can offer, and the VA helps assist in that. And so we try to use that as one of our recruitment tools.
That's right. And it's, nursing is one of those dynamic fields that you constantly want to update your skills.
That's right.
Constantly. When I give advice to mentees or just people generally about nursing, I say, you want to constantly add that certification, get that experience. People get too focused sometimes on education certifications and don't realize how valuable that experience is.
That's right.
So you get that very job experience, put it on that resume, and it makes you a very marketable commodity and one of the finest things you can work in. So what makes somebody want to be a nurse generally? Let's start here.
So I can only speak for myself, but I grew up always just having a real compassion for people and taking care of people. I never really, I'll be honest, I never dreamed that I would work here at the VA. Because I've always worked out in the private sector, but my father was a veteran, and he did utilize this facility for his health care for a number of years, all of my life, as a matter of fact. And he died of lung cancer, and actually after he died, that's when I really started having kind of an interest in the VA, and I had some friends here that actually worked. And they called me several times and said, hey, there's some openings. I really think you'd like it here. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot and go. And I have to be honest when I say I know I've only been here a year, but this is really a great facility to work for. And I cannot be more prouder to be here, because we are serving our nation's heroes, which in itself is just really something to be proud of. So I come to work every day excited, thankful to be here, and glad to be a part of this organization that takes care of our nation's heroes.
Yeah, Paula, I tell people, certainly we all want to make a little more money, have some stuff, but I've found it's just not just my opinion, it's research bears this out. Most people, what they really want in their job is to feel that they do something worthwhile, that what they do makes a difference, and that people appreciate it. And so when a council manager is about keeping the folks motivated, hey, just tell them thank you and remind them why they're here. And when I talk to the nurses, that's what I hear.
Right.
I used to say I never heard a cop tell me that they became a cop because they needed a job.
Right.
It's always
That's
public
right.
service. And I've never heard a nurse tell me anything but, hey, I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same. And that's what I see every day. But
Right.
again, it's a challenging job. Sometimes you got shift work to deal with, that kind of stuff. And you have to, let's face it, you're on the front lines of seeing people sometimes at their most vulnerable, and
This is
sometimes
true.
you're literally
Yes.
there when they pass away.
That's right.
And that's got to be an emotional challenge, but the nurses I've seen do it here and around my experience are just wonderful at it.
Yes,
That
they are.
compassion really comes
We have
through.
great nurses here.
So what do you think about in the future for yourself as you think about your career projections?
So I just want to stay here and end my career here, actually. I mean, now that I've come here and I've seen what a great facility this is, and I see all the wonderful opportunities, like I said, I hope to myself take part in that continuing education and just move further up and just be that change agent to help this VA continue to grow and move in a positive direction so that we can give the highest quality care to our veterans.
I'm a veteran. I don't get VA services, unfortunately, because I take it in a minute. I'm telling you. I've been here since 2003. It's outstanding health care. I don't care what anybody tells you. I would come here if they just let me in the door. But Paula, so what are some of the things we're doing to recruit nurses here? Get them. I know this is part of it, trying to get the word out. Because I tell people this is one of the best kept secrets in healthcare is Carl Vinson VA Medical Center. But what are we doing to help recruit our nurses?
So basically, like you said, word of mouth. We have a Facebook page. So a lot of times we put announcements out there. The Vinson Voice, of course. And then also we do community outreach. We'll do job fairs periodically.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're hoping in this next year to actually get ourselves out more in the community. I know you and I have talked
Well,
about that recently.
You're just getting started.
So yeah, so that's our goal, is just to kind of move further out and just really put the word out there so that people are excited about coming to the VA and giving us a try.
Paula, I want to thank you for everything you do, being a nurse and being a nurse at the VA, of course.
Thank you.
Now give them some contact info before we leave so they can get in touch with you. if they're
Okay.
interested in working.
So you can contact me, Paula Bennett. I'm the nurse recruiter at Carl Vinson VA. My email address is paula.bennett at va.gov. You can also reach me via phone at 478-272-1210 at extension 2927.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you for representing us so well.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Again, I'm Frank Jordan with the Vinson Voice. We'll be right back with more.
'19 Nissans are priced right at Dublin Nissan.
This week at Dublin Nissan, get up to $3,500 off MSRP on the 2019 Altima.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
Is your internet slowing your business down? If so, call the City of Dublin for our fiber optic based internet, 478-296-1008.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vinson Voice. Again, I'm your interviewer here, Dr. Frank Jordan at the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center. And next, I want to talk to one of our star players here, Miss Jacqueline Jackson, who works in our social work service. And I have a really tender spot in my heart for social workers because I was a police officer for 21 years. And what they do, believe it or not, is very similar. You know, a lot of people think that being a cop's all about law enforcement. No, 90% of what we did was service-related stuff because people came to us when they didn't know where else to go. And Miss Jacqueline, same thing happens to you, right?
Yes,
So tell us a little bit about what social work does here at the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center.
Okay, social workers work in so many different areas of the VA. In fact, the VA is probably one of the highest employers of social workers in the United States.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
We work in medical. This is a medical facility. However, we have quite a bit of social programs that address the social problems or issues that a veteran may be going through. One thing about the VA, we do not look at the veteran in a single way. We look at them as being multidimensional.
That's right.
And so that we try to address all of their needs.
At every course in their life, right, Jacqueline?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of our veterans, they go into the military as 17, 18-year-olds.
That's right.
And then they'll come out and they're in their early adult years. Yeah. And I think the oldest veteran I worked with was 107 years old.
107 years old.
Here on our CLC.
Right.
So we pretty much work with the different age groups of all our veterans, the young to the very old.
And we changed our model some years back.
Yes.
To, it's not just acute episodes of care.
No.
It's, hey, we got a relationship with you even when you're not here.
When you're not sick.
So, yeah, when you're not sick, we want to keep you healthy.
Yes.
When you come to that end of life, we want to be there with you.
Yes.
Our hospice folks
Yes.
do a great job down there.
Yes.
So it came to light for me really in stark contrast this morning in a meeting. I said, I was trying to match up social work and nursing specifically, and then it hit me. We were talking. Yeah, we gave the health care. Now we got this issue with this veteran. We don't know what to do with this veteran to help him out. And both went right to social work. We got to have our social workers help us.
At the table.
Yeah,
yes.
and you and I were talking before, and what'd you say about bridges? I like the way you put that. It was,
With social worker, we're the bridge to bring
That's
everything together for veterans or anyone that are seeking our assistance. We try to bridge the resources and educate whoever we come in contact with what's available, and then connect them to those things.
That's right. Because in VA, we got a lot of really great services and programs, processes, but
Yes,
there's
we do.
always those little spaces in between.
Yes.
And that's our social workers help fill those gaps.
Fill
I love
those
it.
gaps,
So
yes.
what got Jacqueline Jackson in social work?
Well, I could go back to my grandmother.
Okay.
She was the first social worker I ever met. Even though she wasn't trained professionally, she was the social worker in our community that helped people that were downtrodden.
Right.
Whenever they were down on their luck, she would just provide that extra, whether it's just a meal or some clothes or a place to stay.
That's right.
I always say she was the first homeless shelter I ever experienced. So and then when I went off to college, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. And it came to me social work, you know, and it's been a natural fit for me, since I made that decision.
That's right. So grandma was inspiration.
Yes,
That's fantastic.
yes.
And you're right when you say that. It's funny that they think about social work and a lot of other professions as diplomas and certifications and jobs.
Yes.
But it's really, those people in the community don't have that title, or social workers too. Just like you said, your grandma who recognizes the need and then helps out, and that's
Yes.
what you guys do.
Yes.
You're there. So what got you to the VA though, Jacqueline?
Okay. 2009, I worked in different areas of social work, or whether it's Department of Family and Children Service, hospice, mental health, different areas, school social work. However, in 2009, 2010, I had an uncle to suddenly die, who was a veteran.
Right.
And with him being a veteran, we were trying to figure out why, he wasn't going to the VA, because he really wasn't accessing health care. He was in his 40s. He was a young guy.
Yeah.
And his biggest thing was not being able to afford to go to the doctor.
Ah.
But I learned later on he could have had access to health care, and it could have prevented his early,
Lengthened his life.
It could have prevented some things. So that put me on a mission to find out more about the VA, and then to try to get into the VA to get the news out to all veterans that we do offer free health care for eligible veterans, to make sure that we take care of their needs. They served our country, and the least we can do is provide, health care for our veterans.
And we honor your uncle's service. We're glad you came to us, because you've been a dynamo.
I get the question all the time, are you a veteran? Like, no, but I'm a dependent of a veteran.
But I take care of them, and that's I tell people.
I'm a dependent of a veteran,
I
and
say
I
the
have plenty of
spouses
veterans.
and the families serve. Well, our folks here who care for America's heroes serve too, and I truly believe that. But you hit the nail on the head. Is one of the reasons we've been so blessed to have this half hour each week from TV 35 is it helps us get out that information, because I've been in your situation before. I literally, I remember one World War II veteran I found hobbling across the parking lot one day, could barely walk, and he was 94, and he didn't know what was available to him, and now he was desperate to need it. And so my mission, I was communications director here for a long time. My mission was to get the word out about what we do, what's available, let people know what their VA Medical Center here in Dublin is doing for them.
Yes,
So I tell people, very similar to police work, nursing, social work is very similar. If you get bored in social work, you're not trying, because there's just too much to do.
Yes.
Isn't there? I mean,
I'm laughing because I agree.
yeah. If you get bored, it's just because you're not
Yes.
trying, because
Yes.
there's just too much to do in that line of work. And I've
Yes.
seen, we were kidding between segments about defects. People think
Yeah.
social work around here defects, but it's so much more than that.
Yes, it
social work,
is.
yeah. So, and it's not a 9-to-5 job, but it's so
No.
rewarding.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. So I have been, I laugh because I've been at the VA for 8 years now, and out of the 8 years, I probably have had 8 different social work jobs.
Right. But it's one big company, though.
So I worked with the homeless veteran, with
Right.
HUD-VASH. I've worked with caregiver support, working with the caregivers for veterans.
right.
I've worked with primary care, with the primary care services, social worker for veterans, to make sure the veterans stay well and what we can do to help them get well. I've worked with the TCM, the OEF, OIF, OND veterans, VA, DAD liaison, the bridge between the
There you go.
DOD active service to
Right.
the VA. So there is so many different areas: mental health, home-based primary care.
Right.
There are so many different areas of social work that one can work in once you get into the VA. But like you said, if you're bored, it's because you're not trying.
Yeah. and you need that diverse skill set.
Yes,
I tell people
yes.
in various professions, and certainly
Yes.
social work, I say, you need to get different experience.
Yes.
Nurses, I say, hey, you need to go do this for a while. Go do that. You get that skill set
Sharpen
developed,
up your-
sharpen, keep sharp. Yeah, because
Yes.
people, if you've mastered something, well, then nobody's impressed once you got to go
Yes.
find something new to master.
Yes.
I think social work here at the Carl Vinson gives you the opportunity. Now, the good news is, the hours can be erratic once in a while, depending on where you
Yes.
work, but we're going to pay you for it, so don't worry.
And
we
it's
will
rewarding.
compensate you. It's
Yes.
very rewarding. I talk to all the social workers, and you just hear the passion in their voice.
Yes.
I know you still a lot of good stories with a buddy of mine, Greg Centers, who's a social worker here, and
Yes.
he really, that's where he shined. He really wanted to get the news out about how we were caring for America's heroes, and
Yes.
made him proud, made us proud, and everything you guys do make us proud, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Dr.
So
Jordan.
I want to say keep doing a good job. Don't you go nowhere. You're going to stay here with us 20, 30, 40 more years, so you just get comfortable, and we're going to have you back on the show too, okay?
Okay.
All right. So folks, we'll be right back with more Vinson Voice.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anna Grace with Myers Equipment and Supply, your dealer for the complete line of Can-Am side-by-sides and ATV products. For hunting, farming, or riding the trails, Can-Am has the models you need. If you like a little sport to your ride, choose the versatile Can-Am Commander. With the best-in-class power and versatility, this side-by-side features the essentials that change the off-road landscape. Industry-leading performance, precision-engineered handling, and rider-focused design are all on display every time you hit the throttle. Come into Myers Equipment today and see the full line of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Or Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owner's insurance agency.
Folks, welcome back to the Vinson Voice. Again, I'm Dr. Frank Jordan, and I'm here to tell, I recently joined the nursing team here at Carl Vinson. Let me tell you why. Because of all the things I did here over the years, I had a great time. I wanted the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center to be seen as the best in our system worldwide. That's what I wanted. And I knew to do that, I had to get close to my nurses, and I tried over the years, and we worked together very nicely, did a lot of good stuff, but I never got that chance to just really be on that team directly and have an influence. Well, guess what? Now I do. So that's one of the reasons I'm glad that our producer, Greg Swartz, is giving me a little time each week to get some of my nursing folks up here and talk to them. And here's one of my favorite nursing folks in the world. in the absolute, she's her positivity, her personality, Miss Janice Stuckey. Now, she is no longer just in nursing. Tell us what you do now.
I'm actually a certified restorative nursing assistant. And in that capacity, what we do is that we restore our veterans back to as much independence as possible. We also engage them in social activities. We put on fashion shows for them. We did a 80s themed disco about a year ago. And just today we did a hot chocolate social.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
now,
they really enjoyed that.
How did I miss the hot chocolate?
We engage in a lot of activities to keep them active, keep them flexible, keep them moving and as independent as possible. We have had success stories and where we have actually had some of our patients, our residents that were bedbound, that reverted to wheelchair, that reverted to walking, that reverted.
And that's the goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you can see them when they leave here and they are walking, that is absolutely the best feeling in the world.
Because Ms. Janice, the old healthcare model was you come in if you need something, then we send you back out, and sometimes when you're older and you come in the hospital, you never leave kind of attitude. We take our veterans, we want their quality of life to be high, right?
Expanded. And, you know, back some years ago when I came on, you know, they only had just OT and PT. So they only just had skilled therapy. But as time went on and as we start moving forward to resident patient care, then the restorative came on board. And so I got to be a part of that from the beginning to now. And I've actually...
Oh, wow. So you're a plank owner.
Yeah, I've actually been in it now about 10 years.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
fantastic.
And it's something that I absolutely love.
You know, and I was in healthcare for many years, Ms. Janice, and I didn't realize you could think that going from the wheelchair and do a little walking is not that big a thing, but then I found out the research tells us that by doing that, everything else gets better for their health, and their longevity is greater. They live long. And so I said, you know, when it's healthcare, there are no small things. We got to attend to every point, and so getting them active again is critical. And so one of the reasons you became one of my favorite people in the world, and certainly in nursing, was because of your positivity, your attitude. You were involved with so many things outside of your area. I mean, I knew we could come to you and say, hey, we need a little help here, and boom, you're on the team, right?
Yes.
What motivates you to do that kind of thing?
I just like being active, and I just like doing things where I can give back, you know, and so if you need me, yeah, I'm coming.
You got an attitude of gratitude.
I'm ready, you know. And so that's why I try to stay involved in a lot of committees, a lot of things that I do around here outside of the scope of my job that requires sometimes that I may stay late or I may have to come early, but that's all in giving back. That's all in the love of your job because you do these things because that's what you love to do. So.
Yeah, and I do the same thing, and I tell people ask me why I'm here earlier, I stay late, or on a day off or something, especially as communications director, I did a lot of that. I said, it's not like work to me. I'm caring for America's heroes. I got great teammates out here. We know what we're doing is having an effect on veterans' lives. It's just not, it doesn't seem like work. I've been in times where I had to tell myself, boy, you better go home. Miss Dee Dee's gonna get on to you. But yeah, it's great to work somewhere where it doesn't feel like work, isn't it?
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Right now we are being involved in what we call the sleep study for our residents. And so we have been allowed to stagger our work hours so that we can come in later and work later to actually keep our resident more active so they can actually acquire more sleep at night, you know, at least anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of sleep at night because sleep is important for their health.
Absolutely.
So we've been doing that and it has been working out fantastic.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, Janice, because that's another area that people discount totally. They just don't realize. So in your hospital, I think the model used to be that you were used to the idea that you weren't going to get good sleep because of but you know what? We turned that around.
Yes.
We said, hey, you got to get that sleep because we know that impacts your health. We know that's gonna guide everything you do and your outcomes. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So it's an environmental change, really,
It
for
is.
us. It's
It is.
patient and family-centered care. Is thinking rather than thinking we know everything the veteran needs, asking them what they need,
Absolutely.
and getting their input right.
Absolutely.
So what got you out of the VA to begin with? What got you in this field that you're so great at?
I've been doing this actually when I graduated high school. I went to work at a nursing home here in Dublin.
Okay.
And from there, I've had mostly nursing home experience completely. I did other jobs, but I always came back to nursing.
Right.
So, you know, that was just my
That
calling.
was your calling.
That was my
That's
calling.
it. You
So-
finally quit resisting.
Yes.
You realize what you're here to do, and just went in with both feet, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and you do a
absolutely.
fantastic job. There's no doubt about it. The other thing about our community living centers, our nursing homes, is that people don't realize sometimes that this is where some of our veterans live. This is literally their
It
home.
is. It
So
really
they've
is.
got to be made to feel like they're at home, and we do a lot with that in our community living centers. So, what's the future for you?
Future for me is retirement.
When is that going to happen? 20 years, 30 years from now, maybe?
No, actually, I've kind of set myself a date for the end of this year.
No. We'll talk about that. That's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen. You got to work out your transition plan with me.
Okay.
And when I approve that transition plan into retirement,
okay.
then you know you
Okay.
can go.
All
But
right.
until then,
I'll
we
get
need
with
you.
you.
All right, you come meet
Okay.
with me.
Okay.
We need you. We got to have good folks like you, and we got to have folks coming in from the outside. We want them to know it's a great team here at Carl
It
Vinson.
is.
We want you to come in, ply your trade here, come care for America's heroes. If you're going to be in healthcare or any facet of it, supporting it, hey, what better than taking care of America's veterans?
That's
right?
it.
Absolutely.
That's
Ms.
it.
Janice, I want to thank you for all the good work you've done over the years and you continue to do. And when you do finally get retired in about 10 to 15 years, I'm gonna be supporting you in that. So,
Okay.
but in the meantime, you're gonna stay with me. So,
Okay, I got you.
thanks. We'll be right back with more Vinson Voice.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Perry Williamson. We've been serving the Dublin and Lawrence community for over 90 years here at Williamson's Bakery. We specialize in donuts, cakes, pies, cupcakes, cookies, birthday cakes. They're our business, not a hobby. And don't forget our large selection of cheese straws. For special orders, contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or better yet, just come get you some. When you stop by, be sure to try our all-new Pig in the Blankets. We have bacon, sausage, and chicken. We're located at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, Dublin, Georgia. For the hot, freshest donuts, come to Williamson's Bakery. We proudly support our area athletics.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Vinson Voice. We want to thank you for joining us again this week. Again, we love having this half hour to talk to you, tell you what's going on in VA, show how your tax dollars at work, and more important, show you how we're caring for America's heroes, our veterans. So one thing we really want to emphasize these days is veteran suicide. One veteran suicide is one too many by far. We need to get your help in dealing with this issue, and it's easier than you might think. You run into that veteran who needs the help, they don't know where to turn, there's a number you can call. It's the Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255, and producer Greg's going to throw that on the screen for you. But again, sometimes it's amazing when you talk to veterans who have been tempted, been in that situation, but it went in a more positive direction. It was typically somebody that intervened, somebody that talked to them, took the time to give them that suggestion and get them that help. So again, 1-800-273-8255. Make sure you reach out to that veteran who may be in crisis and need us, and you get them to call that number, or anything you can do to prevent that, to get them back on track and get them the help they need. Veteran homelessness. If you can reach out, we have great programs and services here at the VA for our homeless veterans, and we're trying to help them out. But you know what? It takes a community. The VA will never be able to do it alone. We know that because of our 300,000 volunteers we have that help us fill some of the gaps that we can't fill. We depend on our volunteers. And same thing, we depend on you. It takes a community to honor our veterans, that you've got to help out. So please do that. If you don't know about resources available, it's easily online at va.gov, or you can go to our Carl Vinson VA Medical Center website, Dublin VA Medical Center. We also hope you'll join us on Facebook. Just put in Dublin VA Medical Center, boom, it'll pop up. We put everything on that Facebook page. You can get it fast, you can get it quick, and you'll know what to do. But if all else fails, you reach out to somebody here at the medical center, and we will get you the information you need. But again, help out your veterans any way you can. Maybe they need a job. We got a lot of great folks in the local community. I know Todd Yates, one of our good friends in the community, does a lot to help veterans by putting them to work, and they need that. Sometimes our veterans need that little helping hand, get back on track and get started. If you don't have a job, it's very hard to do that. So also keep tuning into the show and share it. After the episodes air on TV, we put them on YouTube. So you can just anytime just go on YouTube and look for Vinson Voice. Every episode we've ever done is going all the way back, is out there, and you can get some good information. And come to work for us. We need people here at the Carl Vinson. We're up to 1,550 employees now, and projections are we're going to add a couple hundred more in the coming years because we got to. And even that's not going to be everything we need, but it's a good start. So we need good people who are dedicated to our veterans to come out here and work with us. So we talked about social work, nursing. We have an outstanding nursing team here. We're over 500 folks now. They're working hard, great variety of things you can do out here. If you're going to apply out of your trade in the nursing field, come do it with us. Our nurse recruiter, Miss Paula, will be glad to talk to you. Paula Bennett, just reach out to her and she'll tell you what's available. But if nothing else, again, call me here at the Medical Center, Dr. Frank Jordan. I'm the executive assistant for our chief nurse here, and I'm happy to give you some guidance. So come work with us on this Carl Vinson VA Medical Center team. Folks, until next week, I'm Frank Jordan. We hope you'll tune in.